Today, we will talk about how to identify poison ivy plant. Let's have a look at the details. Poison ivy is a common plant on the North American continent, noted for its ability to create an itchy rash on contact with skin. It is an extremely adaptable, persistent type of vegetation, and as a result, it can be easy to accidentally become affected. Fortunately, it is not all that difficult to identify with a little practice. The first step is to identifying features of the plants. Look for the vine with clusters of 3 leaves. Poison ivy always has clusters of 3 leaves. Use this as the defining characteristic, as this plant is not so obvious in most other ways. Poison ivy is remarkable with its ability to grow in a variety of ways. Although it is called poison ivy, it can not only grow upwards clinging to surfaces like ivy but can also grow as a bush or single plant. Recognize more of poison ivy's identifying features. Beyond clusters of 3 leaves, there are several other identifying features of poison ivy. They include pointy tips, bigger middle leaf, waxy on top, fuzzy on the bottom, seasonal color changes, sometimes shiny. Check for fruit. Both poison ivy and poison oak plants produce small clusters of fruit. If either plant has berries, do not touch or consume them for any reason. Don't touch any part of the plant. All parts of the plant contain the irritating urushiol oil, so avoid contact with all parts of the plant. Urushiol is a colorless, or sometimes slightly yellow, oil that can remain on objects for months. The second step is spotting poison ivy and oak when out and about. Inspect vines before touching, brushing against them, or walking through them. When growing as a vine, poison ivy can snake its way along with trees. When it grows like this, tons of little poison ivy plants grow out of a vine. Always inspect a vine if you need to go near it, and see if it has plants growing out of it. Remain vigilant even during the winter months. Poison oak drops its leaves in winter, leaving a bare stem of a vine hanging down. But for sensitive individuals, this can still cause a rash. The third step is tricky things to be aware of. Avoid confusing poison oak with other plants. Some other plants have 2 or 3 similar looking leaves. Other plants may have spines on the leaf tips, holly or mahonia, or thorns on the stems, blackberry. However, it is better to avoid plants that resemble poison ivy. Even if other animals eat an unidentified plant, that does not mean it is safe. Toxic plants are not poisonous to all creatures. Deer and other grazing animals may happily eat poison ivy.